It's Mika. Do you see this? We're
Oh.
on.
Oh, hey, didn't see you there. I'm with Mika from Health Illusion.
I'm Parsa, also from Health Illusion, and we're so excited to be back for our second full episode.
It's going to be full-fledged. We're going to dive into the topic of the month, which is self-confidence,
We're
if you
so
remember.
excited to talk about it.
Yeah. So what's this episode called?
Drumroll, please. This episode is all about
self-esteem.
So we will be talking about self-esteem and obviously confidence, how to gain it, what to do, what not to do. What even is self-esteem and confidence?
And why is it so important for our mental health? Yeah.
So should we get started?
Yes, let's into it.
Let's do it.
So let's start with the definition of self-esteem, because a lot of people can't differentiate what self-esteem is from a lot of other things.
And confidence. They're different things.
So what is self-esteem, Parsa?
Self-esteem is the opinion you have of yourself and the value you think you have.
So what's the main influence of these thoughts, actually?
So the main influence would be your personal experiences and the relationships you have with others, and they can have a really big impact.
I guess that makes sense. A lot of relationships and experiences you have does really impact how you feel about yourself, I guess.
Good or bad.
Yeah, good or bad.
And we're here to bring the good to you guys.
Yeah.
Look at that. I feel like the sun's coming out. That's perfect timing, guys.
Perfect timing. Especially when we said good. Yeah.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Would you like to talk about confidence now? I feel like that's also important to be defined.
Yeah, that's also important to be defined. So confidence is a feeling of self-assurance from the appreciation of your abilities and qualities.
I love that.
It's basically telling yourself that you're enough as you are.
Yeah, I got this.
Yeah, I don't need to change myself for someone else. Sometimes there can be good changes, sometimes there can be bad change.
I'm happy and content with what I have and who I am.
Yeah, exactly. So next, why is self-esteem so important? So there's a lot of benefits of having high self-esteem. So we have a study by Ulrich Orth and Richard W. Robbins from 2022, and this study examines 6 main outcomes of self-esteem: social relationships, school, work, mental health, physical health, and antisocial behavior. So it shows how higher self-esteem predicts significant advantages across these outcomes, most importantly, school, work, and mental health, and a little bit of social health as well. Also, self-esteem interventions are extremely helpful for individuals who are going through a negative time in their life, so they don't have a great self-esteem. You know what I mean?
So, guys, when we use our phone, we have all our notes pulled up for the episode. So, do you want to dig a little deeper into that? So, what does that mean? First of all, let's break that down word by word. So, the study examines 6 main outcomes of self-esteem. Let's break each one of those 6 outcomes down.
Yeah. So we have social relationships. So what do we think that means? I think it means friendships,
romantic relationships,
maybe student-teacher,
encounterships at work with your employee or your work
just
partner.
people you interact with,
us.
I guess. Yeah, us. We have a social relationship.
And us with you guys.
Us with you guys.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. Yeah. If you want more of us, check out our socials for sure at health.illusion. We have Instagram and TikTok. We will be posting weekly.
So social relationships is just people you interact with. You know what I mean? Okay. So what about school? I think school could just be how you're doing academically and how you interact with your academics and peers, maybe group projects too.
And yeah, the relationships between your group members, and also I would say how you feel about your grades and the worth you put on your grades.
That's really important. Yeah, that's
because there can be a lot of stress, and we will talk separately about academic stress.
Because I know a lot of people, they have they need academic validation, they crave academic validation. So we're gonna be talking about why you shouldn't let grades define you too much, because honestly, in high school, obviously it defines you a lot.
A lot of things happen, so you just gotta go with the flow in life.
Yeah.
Next
one.
So
that's about school. About work. So I feel employed at a job. I mean, you interact a lot with your coworkers, employees, boss.
If your boss is nice, how well you do your job. Yeah. Or the customers. I know that can be really difficult.
The customer-employee relationship, because a lot of customers might just not be people you like to work with, but you have to sometimes
that's okay. You have to learn. Yeah. You have to just learn how to cooperate.
Yeah, you just have to learn how to cooperate with customers, because that's a big thing of employment and stuff like that. So that's the work part. Mental health.
That one's a really big one. And we will break everything down later on.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about mental health a little bit. I think it's what goes on in your brain. Like,
I would say so too.
Like, what goes on in your brain and how that can be negative stuff or positive stuff, and like how that stuff like interacts. You know what I mean?
Because what happens out here is one thing, but in the brain, that's a whole other thing, and there can be so many thoughts in there, and it's very important to recognize that, and that can lead into
like there's obviously like little voices in your heads that can be impulsive, intrusive, like definitely sad, like negative or positive. So there's also like all of those factors contribute to your mental
for
state.
sure, and it's just important to be aware of that and to learn how to deal with it and what to do with those thoughts.
I completely agree. So
because you don't want negative thoughts getting in your way.
Yeah, negative thoughts should not be getting in your way of your livelihood, and we actually want you to cut out negative thoughts entirely because they genuinely hurt you so much.
I know, it's not good to surround yourself with negative energy, and again, everything we talk about, we will break down later on in either this episode or upcoming one, so it's important to stay tuned.
Okay, yeah. So next we have physical health. I feel like that's mainly like diseases, like your immune system and stuff like that. That's like obviously,
if you're sick or not, if you might feel down,
and like obviously your lifestyle, like diet, exercise,
for sure.
Yeah,
which are all very important.
Yeah, those are all very important. We'll probably do like a whole month on that,
yeah,
because that's obviously
lifestyle.
A big part of who like you shape to be, both like health wise and mental wise.
For sure.
Yeah, because lifestyle is a big part of who you are as a person. So next, antisocial behavior.
Antisocial.
I feel like that means you disconnect from society as a whole. Like you just don't want to interact.
Yeah. And I feel like depending on, which is fine also.
Yeah. It's obviously important to do that, but not to disconnect yourself completely, because you do need a support system.
Sometimes feeling isolated while in the moment, that might be all you want. The effects of being isolated is not the best.
Like, isolation isn't equal to just be like taking
alone
time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And self-care is very important, guys.
Yeah, self-care is also something we'll be talking about a lot.
Put yourself first, always. Remember, our motto literally is, your health comes first.
Okay. So, we also talk about how higher self-esteem actually shows significant advantages throughout all of these topics that we just discussed, which obviously that's like really good, right? Like,
yes.
Like, doing better in school just because you have high self-esteem, like that's such a good advantage, you know what I mean? Because in high school, grades are so like important.
They're really important.
They're really important, and that
don't put pressure on yourself, but
that can only be improved with the higher self-esteem. So like, actually, if you think too much about your grades will go down.
Yeah. Can I give a real life example?
Yeah.
So let's connect it to our real lives so you guys can see exactly what we mean. So for example, like you said, we are in high school. So if there's a test that I'm really, really worried about, and this can go into one of the 6 categories we talked about. If we're talking about school, then that would be the category. So for example, if there's a really, really big test coming up, I might be doubting myself, you know? I might be like, no, I don't know if I got this. Yeah, I don't remember the material enough.
Yeah, like that can really, like,
it messes with
self-doubt actually, like, decreases your self-esteem. Like, you need to be confident in your skills.
Everything is connected.
Yeah, everything's just, like, if you're confident in your skills, you'll actually do better on the test, because you can just tell yourself, okay, I know this. Like, I got this. I just need to give it a little thought, and then you'll, like, the answer will come to you. So
whenever I'm feeling like that, I realize I don't do that well on a test, because if you say, and this goes into manifestation, which we'll talk later on
in our Thanksgiving special,
stay tuned, guys, in this month. But if you keep repeating these bad things to yourself, then that's just your reality. Hard truth. If you say bad things, then that's what it is, bad things. So that's why it's really, really important.
It's important to give yourself positive energy.
And you have to have a high self-esteem. And it's easier said than done. So that's why later on in this episode, we will talk about ways to boost up that confidence and self-esteem.
Yeah.
Because when I do have higher confidence in myself and high self-esteem, I realize, wait, I do know this information and I can actually do better on the test.
Like, I got this on lock, you know? So it's like that. So that's all. We're going to talk about the study, because the study is really scientific and we don't really want to bore you with all these facts.
So we will be breaking everything down so it's more easier to understand, but everything that we do talk about is backed up by a study, and we will be referencing the study and the people.
We also have just normal sources of, like, mental health.
We have multiple sources, so everything we do say is
Backed
up, and we do our research. It is legit.
Okay, so should we get into how to actually boost your self-esteem?
Very important. I think we should.
Yeah, because self-esteem, as we said, it affects so many factors. So you need to know how to improve that so that everything else in your life can also improve.
It's very much easier said than done, and we want to help.
Yeah, because we're also going through a process of also boosting our self-esteem. So actually talking about it is actually really helpful for us too. So
this
it's not just...
This podcast is for us and for you guys. We want to get the most out of it. And
we also want you to remember, all your struggles, you're not facing them alone.
For sure. There are people here for you.
Yeah, we definitely are also here
So
for you.
I would say for sure we're focusing on boosting our confidence a lot when it comes to academically wise.
Academics. It's so easy to get down on yourself just because of a bad grade, but just remember that grades, you just need to remember that grades don't define you. One bad test does not mean you're stupid. Please.
Trust me. I know it may seem like it, and it might be like, oh, you're just saying that you guys are probably smart. Trust me on this. A bunch of smart people, and I'm not trying to say we are, the most academic people ever, but a bunch of people smart or anything do still struggle, and it's not about the struggling itself, but the process that you build from it and learn.
We're not smart. We just want to share
our experiences and the knowledge we have with you guys.
Exactly. So next, let's actually get into how to boost that.
Yep.
Okay, so first, treating yourself with kindness. I feel like we already covered this. Positive self-talk. I think that means positive self-talk, telling yourself you're good enough, you're enough.
Affirmation.
Affirmation. Definitely affirming who you are as a person, and accepting that you are who you are, and you can't change every single little thing.
And that's okay. You shouldn't have to.
Yeah, flaws are an important part of a human nature, right? So you can't just remove all your flaws.
Something I want to add about flaws real quick is that everyone has things that we consider flaws about us, but everyone has different flaws, and what we think to be perfect in another human being, they might not actually like, and they might want something that you have, but the reason you might think, oh, they're so perfect, this and that, is because of confidence and their self-esteem.
I completely agree with Parsa. Some people just carry themselves with so much confidence that you don't realize their flaws. And obviously they want a lot of things that you have. So also, a really important part of self-esteem is finding hobbies,
Yes, you want to keep yourself busy and do things that you really enjoy and are good at.
Also, obviously you have to do things you can't you don't like.
It's good to step out of your comfort zone, but regarding self-esteem, doing things that you're really good at will boost your confidence and will lead you to do other things that you might not be as familiar with once you have that set confidence.
That, I completely agree with Parsa. Some things I don't really like to do. Doing something I liked before that really helps me boost my confidence and make me feel like I can tackle that task.
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah, you got that.
So,
Literally.
do you have an example to give us? Okay,
so, some things I really hate doing. I literally hate doing these things. I literally hate doing history homework because I freaking I literally can't comprehend how there's multiple right answers. So usually I just switch over to doing something I really enjoy.
What would that be?
That would be I really like biology. As I said in our intro episode, if you were listening to that, I really like biology, so I would just kind of move on to my biology homework for a little bit because I'm also good at it. So I feel that really helps me boost my confidence and be yeah, I got history or not. I got this, you know?
Got this.
Do you have an example, Parsa?
Actually, I do, and I would love to share it. So, again, going off of the academic perspective of it that Mika was talking about, I'm in journalism, and so it can be really hard sometimes to be creative with the articles we're writing because each time you want a fresh perspective, and it can be hard to do that because you write multiple articles. So what I personally like to do is review the past articles that I've written or past articles written by other people in journalism, and I love to listen to music. Music always makes me feel better, so doing that I get some inspiration, so that way I think I can tackle the task.
Yeah, I think inspiration ties in directly to hobbies because inspiration, motivation, they all allow you to tackle those tasks that you really
they all hate. Give you that sense of confidence,
Yeah. So also doing nice things for yourself, so giving yourself a nice day out or something, something
going on a solo date or buying yourself flowers. That's very important to treat yourself out. I know for me, after I have a big test Or I also play the piano, guys. So after a big piano performance, I love to go get some ice cream.
Yeah, that's
or
a really good one.
I love reading also, so maybe buying a new book and going to a coffee shop.
Ooh, yes, I really like that part.
Yes.
That sounds like
it's really fun and relaxing.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel good of yourself.
Yeah, making yourself
all about
feel
confidence.
good after completing a difficult task is always really important, because you'll feel like, oh my god, I just did that and I'm gonna like reward myself for it.
As you should.
Like, as you should. Okay, so also acknowledging your accomplishments rather than your failures sometimes, when you just need that self-esteem boost. Like, I know sometimes I like fail, like I do kind of bad on like a test, and then I just reflect back on tests I did good on. Like I just look back at like tests I got really good scores on, and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm not stupid, I just maybe didn't prepare enough or something
which
like
is
that.
okay. It's all about learning.
It's all about like the learning experiences, and I feel like that's the main thing in high school, because learning from your failures is extremely important. And I know that's easier said than done, because you can just be like, oh, I failed, like I did so bad, like I'm like not fit for anything. But you really just need to take that into account and just realize like, okay, what could I have done better? Like, you need to look at it with that mindset, and that's really something I struggle with as well. Like, I just feel really down on myself after doing bad on something. But something I'm gonna work on is like thinking back and being like, okay, what do I need to study more? What do I need to prepare for? Like, how can I be better?
You just have to reflect on the process.
Yeah, reflecting on the process. I like that. Do you want to continue?
Sure. So something I do want to bring up is that when you're setting your goals, you want to make sure you set them, number one, very specific, which I'll get into later with manifestation. But currently what I want to talk about goals is setting them up in a way that you can actually overcome them, you know? When you have a really big goal, it can be overwhelming to overcome that, and you might be like, I can't do that. And I'm not saying just don't do that. Always achieve for anything you want. The sky's the limit. What I mean by that is you want to break it down. So, for example, if you have a really big goal, I know we keep going back to the academic perspective, so I will give a different example, but for now, I do want to go back to that one more time. If you have a really big group project coming up, it might seem overwhelming, but you just have to break it down. So, for example, one day, maybe I'll research on the topic. On the other day, I'll contact the other group members and we'll assign jobs. On the third day, I'll add photos to the slides. You just have to break down your goal. And when you break down your goal to things that are actually accomplishable, once you accomplish them, you feel good about yourself. Wouldn't you feel good about yourself?
Yeah, I totally would. And another thing, I'm going to give another example rather than academics, because I think we need to shift away from that perspective.
We want to give you guys all different ideas.
We need to give you like a comprehensive overview of life.
I love that.
Academics is not just your life, guys. Like,
yes,
just remember
very
that.
important.
Very important. So also like changing your lifestyle, like exercising more, that's also like a big goal. And like,
it can be hard though, wanting to go to the gym, you know?
Yeah, like it takes a lot of motivation, and we already talked about that.
So that's why you have to break that goal down. Can I elaborate on that?
Yeah, totally.
So, like she said about going to the gym, correct? So that might be a big goal. I know for me personally, I would love to work out, but sometimes it's hard. I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, you know?
Like,
I don't want to go.
It's so difficult. Like, I really don't want to do this, you know?
Maybe I have a difficult workout for the day, or I'm just tired in general and I don't want to do it. That's okay. You have to break the goals down. So maybe the night before, if you go to the gym in the morning, you'll lay your gym clothes out, or you'll listen to a song you like, or after the workout, you'll promise yourself, okay, I'll stop on the way home at a bookstore to read or get a book I really enjoy.
Or like not even just
a vinyl.
Not just like a bookstore, like anything you want.
Yeah,
after
always treat yourself out.
Yeah, always do that. As we talked about with our like self-care and like
self-care, and we will get back into self-prioritization for sure. Very important topic.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you complete those more smaller steps towards the bigger goal, you feel good about yourself, which again connects back to confidence. You will get confident and you will build up slowly that self-esteem to do much more greater things.
Yeah. Also, elaborating on the goal, don't make it like unattainable, because that's just gonna make you feel really bad about yourself that you weren't able to
break it down. Be realistic with yourself.
Yeah, maybe make like a big like overall goal, like
maybe like
still
that
an
lasts
achievable one.
maybe a month, a year or something, if it's a longer one,
and
or a
then
month.
break that goal down into smaller mini goals, and then like
Yes.
achieve those goals, and then like feel good about yourself. And then
And
when
then
you
once
achieve the
they add up, like
and then
you'll get your
once
big
you
goal.
add up, it'll be so much easier for you to attain your big goal. And I think that's important because people usually just like make this big goal and then
But
they
they're
try
not
to
specific with it,
yeah,
and that's
they're not
an
specific
issue.
with it. It's like too overachieving, and they really just need to break that goal down if they want to achieve it. And it's going to take time, and I feel like some people just don't accept that. So I think it's important to make sure you break down those goals, make it attainable, and definitely treat yourself out
Yes.
after those small moments.
Yes, you want to celebrate those small times. We're not saying, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that. We're saying be specific with what you're doing and break it down so you can do that thing that seems
and
unattainable.
like that unattainable goal, make it a long-term goal, and make many short-term goals that lead up to the long-term goal, and then it'll be like so much easier for you to complete it, like so much easier.
So now I kind of want to talk about why these things actually work, because it can be easy to implement them. Might be like, Esmika, Parsa, what's the actual point of this?
No, like definitely, like a bunch of like we're telling you stuff that like probably health teachers tell you, and we don't want you, and they're just like, oh, do it because it'll boost your self-esteem, but you don't really understand why these things will actually help you in the long run. So can I talk about that, Parsa?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So basically what these things are doing, they're like intentional changes to your habits, and basically they intentionally rework cognitive thinking patterns. So like negative self-talk, like it's reworking those patterns and making it more positive, essentially. And practicing these techniques, like you have to be consistent with it or else it's not going to work, but practicing these techniques consistently will contribute to breaking a negative thought cycle. So it'll basically break the cycle and maybe even rework it into a positive thought cycle, which is really good.
Yeah. So for the remaining part of the episode, we would love to give you more tips on how to boost self-confidence. So I'll start off. So one thing is, don't ask for a lot of reassurance. I know, for example, for me, if you're posting like an Instagram story or you want to buy a piece of clothing, you might be like, oh my God, is this cute? Do I look good in this story? Should I post it? Should I get this item? Sometimes it's okay to not ask for that reassurance. I know it might seem like you need it, but honestly, if you really enjoy the clothing piece or how you look in the story or anything, just go for it. Do what makes you happy. You have to put yourself first.
It's always about your health coming first.
100% agree with that one.
Yeah.
So another one I would love to talk about and get your opinion on is embarrassment and shame. So I would say personally, and I'm very passionate about when it comes to these topics specifically in confidence, is that embarrassment and shame are choices. I would say they're put on us. As a baby, are you born with embarrassment or shame?
No. Embarrassment is basically society telling us that we're not accepted.
Exactly.
But like
it's a mindset.
we can't let them like choose what we do. Like we have free will, you know what I mean?
100%. If there is something you are doing and you enjoy it, if someone else is like, oh, why do you do it that specific way? Do it my way. No, that's stupid. That's weird. That's
embarrassing, shameful.
That's shameful. If
you let those thoughts get to you, then you'll think that, but it's really not.
Again, it's manifesting. If you think that, it'll become the reality, and we don't want that. I mean, we want that, but in a positive manner.
Yeah, so just remember that embarrassment is not like a thing. Like it's
a
just,
mindset.
It's just a mindset that you've
built for yourself that we don't have. We are trying to get rid of that mindset.
Yeah, and we definitely struggle with getting rid of embarrassment,
which is okay. We will talk about that future on.
Yeah, definitely. So also, so be authentic. So the energy you put out to the universe is the energy you're going to attract. So would you like to elaborate on that part?
Of course. So going off of that, what she said is that, like she said, the energy you put out is the energy you will receive. So if you put out negative energy, if you're being disrespectful, rude, or if you're just not being authentic to yourself, again, you have to be authentic. If you're pretending to be someone that you're really not, then if you're trying to be into something, for example, I want to give examples because we can all relate to examples. For example, if you're trying to like something that a group of people like, but you don't actually like that, you're going to attract other people that like that thing. which in the
Which
long run
isn't-
is not good if
which
you're
isn't
gonna,
what you're interested in, and you're actually going to feel like really drained after
yeah,
hanging out with
you're
those
gonna
people.
feel actually more dissociated from everyone.
Yeah.
And
that ties into the old like antisocial behavior we talked
yes,
about
with
with the study.
self-esteem. So you just
Definitely.
want to be authentic, because if you put out good energy, if you do all these steps and you build up your self-confidence, and then you're confident to put your authentic self
Yeah.
out, you will attract authentic energy
I'd
back.
like to summarize this by saying, if you be yourself, then you'll attract people who appreciate you for yourself.
For sure. Now that we got that out of the way, I think there's some important things that you should not do when you're boosting your confidence and self-esteem.
What not to do. So basically, just don't practice these, and practice the things we said are good.
That
and
we said earlier, yes.
Definitely. So don't try to stay stuck in your current like negative self-thought. Like if you tell yourself that this is how you are, then you're going to stay like that, tying into the manifestation thing.
Yes.
So like
manifestation is very important, as you can see.
Yeah.
It comes up in all aspects of life.
Yeah. So if you think like that, that's who you're gonna be. So try to improve. Like try to improve your thoughts, try to improve your habits, and try to improve your intentions, you know?
Don't just be like, oh, this is life, this is just meant to be.
This is just how I'm supposed to be. No. You're supposed to be the best version of yourself, which is what we're trying to promote through this podcast.
Yes, we're trying to help you guys get there.
Yeah. Also, a big thing is comparing yourself. Like, comparing yourself with other people. Like, they are not you, okay? Like,
Not
you
at all.
both have different like
Personality,
strengths,
strengths, weaknesses.
Yeah, like you guys are completely different people. You guys are separate. And
different interests.
honestly, social media plays a big part into this, because
I
there's
would
so
100% agree, actually.
Yeah, like there's so many like perfect people, but they're really not perfect. Like they just look like that on the camera because they have like such high self-esteem that they just highlight their strengths rather than their weaknesses, and you think that the strength is the only thing about them. Well, no. They obviously have weaknesses just like any other human being, and I think it's hard to understand that sometimes.
So I would say you do not want to let roadblocks put you down, like we talked about earlier. Failing is all a part of the process. It's not about if you succeed or fail initially. It's about reflecting on what happened
It's about
and the
how
process that got you there, so you can do better next time.
Yeah, I feel like it's not the mistakes, it's how you overcome the mistakes that really define you as a human being.
I would say that for sure.
Okay, so also don't put the blame on others. Like, it's not their fault, you know? Like,
yeah. Do you want me to elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
because I know that sounds kind of mean, but like,
yeah,
we'll get
let me
into it.
explain what I mean by don't put the blame on others. Stop playing the victim. So honestly, stop playing the victim. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'm the way I am because this happened to me. Oh, this person did this, so this is why. If this person didn't do that, then I wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't be in this current situation. Because I did this thing, I deserve this. This must be what my fate, what has to happen to me.
Yeah.
No, stop playing the victim.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to switch the mindset.
Like, you have to focus on getting better rather than what made you get worse, you know?
For sure. That's a really great way to put it. You don't want to be focused on the past and all the blame and putting that on yourself.
You want to be goal-directed, you know?
Instead, you want to change that mindset and think like, okay, obviously this is not the best situation to be in, but what can I do to learn and move on forward from now?
Like overcoming those mistakes and moving forward as a human, also improving. So, is that it, Carson?
I would say so, guys.
So
that is the official second episode of Health Illusion.
Yeah.
Again, you can find all our videos on Spotify and YouTube. They will be posted weekly on Sundays at 11 a.m. EST time.
So, what's the third episode? You want to announce it right now?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Ready? Drumroll, please. The third episode will be all about pressure and stress.
So stay tuned for that next week. And
we love you guys. We're so excited. Thank you so much. And we will see you then. And remember, your health comes first. This is Health Illusion signing out.